All right, listeners, we thank you so much for your patience. And now we welcome you at 8 minutes after 8 o'clock to Real Estate Today for today, the 9th of October, 2024. It all goes down right here every Wednesday morning. My name is Richie B. And of course, this is the Richie B Morning Show. This morning, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at the topic, the power of real estate in retirement planning in Jamaica. And throughout the feature, we'll be focusing on things like how real estate fits into a retirement plan. We also want to dissect key factors retirees should consider when managing real estate for retirement. And I also want to be dropping in a look at real estate considerations for diaspora retirees who are planning to return to Jamaica. All of that will be looked at in this feature. And so we welcome you, whilst we also welcome our guests. As usual, we've got Mr. Howard Johnson Jr., who is the CEO for our sponsoring companies, Howard Johnson Realty and HJ Property Management. Good morning, Howard. How are you doing this morning, my brother? Hold on. Let me make one final connection. Now we should be hearing you. Morning, Howard.
Good morning, Richie, and good morning to all your listeners.
Yes, sir. It's two hands doing all things, and you know how that is, right?
well, preserve those two hands and your voice as well, so that's needed for what you do.
All right, thank you for joining me once again, Howard. And this morning, I think for the first time, we actually have another guest in the program, and that is Mr. O'Shane Black, who is a Sagicor financial advisor. Good morning, O'Shane. How are you today, my brother?
Good morning, Richie B, and good morning to your listeners. It's a pleasure to be on your show. I was listening, so it's definitely something to be on your show.
All right.
And, well, I'm doing okay.
Glad to hear that, O'Shane. Thank you very much. And if you don't mind, Howard, I'm going to start with O'Shane this morning.
Yes, man. Feel free.
All right. O'Shane, why is real estate such an important consideration when one is planning for retirement?
Well, firstly, retirement is, we have to first talk about what that is. It's not an age, it's actually a reality, right? It's a reality when somebody wants to be retired. Somebody can say that they want to be retired at 40, even though the age at retirement in Jamaica is usually 65. Sometimes people are even forced retired. So you may have an injury or an illness or something. So it's about knowing what the reality is and how do you plan properly for it. And especially when it comes on to real estate. As you say, it's real estate. Mm-hmm. It's the only resource, well, not only, but it's a resource that is not replenishable. So you can't get more land, right? So it's always something that is being appreciated. Mm-hmm. You understand? So it hedges against inflation, and it's a very good retirement tool, for especially to bring in passive income and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So then, a lot of retirees are listening to us right now. What should they consider when deciding whether to downsize or purchasing investment properties?
Well, the thing is, it comes down to your reality, right? When it comes out, when somebody comes to me and says they want to downsize, I have to do a proper fact finding, meaning I have to diagnose what's happening in your financial situation is, so I can recommend best practices or best
solutions.
The best thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be a case where you're in retirement and you want to downsize. No, because you have to think generational wealth. You have to think about all these things. But if somebody comes to me and says they want to downsize, more time than not, it will be a case where maybe the children are out of the house and they don't have the need for all that space anymore, which is good. You want a little bit more liquidity and some cash to do, whether it be traveling or just to do some of the things that you would have put off, while you were in your working years. But I would have to have a sit down with this person to dissect exactly what you have been doing in terms of planning for retirement.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that real estate is a good contributor to a diversified retirement portfolio, and why is that? Is it important?
Most definitely, it's actually one of those tools that it's almost guaranteed that it will appreciate. So when you think about like investing, most people think about the stock market, which is a little bit more volatile depending on what you're investing in. And it also comes down to what type of investor you are and your risk tolerance. So for me, having real estate in your portfolio diversified is very paramount because it kind of balances out the risk that you'll be taking on. Because as I said, it's an appreciating asset.
And is it a good hedge against inflation?
For sure, because if you remember, after COVID, we were experiencing inflation of about 12% thereabout. But most people that would have been investing in properties and that kind of thing, they would not feel like heavy hit of that inflation, because what you notice is it would be like a opposing effect for them. So if you had a property after COVID, it would appreciate significantly. So it would actually be a benefit for you. So it's one of those tools that everybody needs to try to have when it comes on to planning for retirement.
All right. I thank you for those wonderful responses to my questions, O'Shane. Now, Howard, I want to swing it over to you now. For Jamaicans who are living abroad who plan to retire here at home, what advice would you have for them regarding real estate?
Well, I was pleased to understand that even in my old age, I can still be with real estate because real estate is consistent during your working life as well as after working life, and that doesn't hinge on, it's not hinged on age specific. So for your listeners, and especially those who are connected to your show in the different areas in the diaspora,
yes,
the retirees need to understand and keep in tune with what is happening in the real estate market, because it's not a rush decision, as Shane mentioned. You don't just get up and say, I'm heading back home and think that everything is going to fall in place. You have to plan for it. So if you know years ahead that you're going to be making this move, then you need to start to understand and whet your taste buds as to what the real estate market looks like, and stay in touch with your real estate professional. They can show you trends, they can give you predictions, they can indicate areas of interest that will make your transition very smooth, especially considering your budget, because you also have to appreciate what will your retirement income for sustainability of a property be like. You don't want to just say, okay, I want a 2-bedroom in a nice community, but then you're hit with all of these maintenance expenses, insurance, upkeep, and different sets, and then you're not able to afford it based on your retirement income. So some of these things will have to be understood and appreciated long before you make that move, and that is done in consultation with the likes of O'Shane.
So you would then say that it's important, especially for persons checking us out now from the Jamaican diaspora, that they make a connection with a reputable realtor to help guide them through this process then.
Always. And in a unique situation such as real estate and retirement, it is not just going to be us, but as you can see, like we did today, we could put you in the hands of those who will help you to understand your retirement setup so that it matches your requirements and your needs in real estate. And that's where we will now chip in and help with the acquisition and the recommendations of that perfect real estate property after understanding what your retirement looks like. So it's going to be very key.
Yes. And as you're at it, O'Shane, what is your parting shot? What do you want to leave with the listeners this morning on this subject?
Should I one more time, Richie?
What would you like to leave with the listeners this morning as your parting shot? Yes, your final comment.
For sure. Yeah, man. One thing I would say,
yes,
the best time to start planning for retirement is yesterday. The next best time is today. So one of the key things that the key tools that can be used in retirement planning is definitely real estate, because everybody needs that passive income. And what I notice when I sit with my clients, I notice they have an idea of what they want for retirement, but how they get there is kind of ambiguous. So that's where the financial professionals come in, where you get a real estate professional, you get a financial advisor, and I practice a collaborative approach where I do have real estate agents that I collaborate with, the different accountants, the different lawyers that will make this process at ease So I implore you to be prudent when it comes on to retirement and sit with different professionals. Yeah.
Howie, on the same subject, when should one really start thinking about retirement? A lot of young people listening to us right now, they're thinking, okay, we don't even need to be thinking about that right now. When should we start thinking?
Yes, the time to start planning, Richie, is now. When you start to work, you have to understand your longevity. You have to plan for an eventuality. As Shane mentioned earlier, you may have an unfortunate situation like an injury or something along those lines. You have to be prepared for things like that. So don't just think that I have 20, 30, 40 years because I have not reached to the age of 65. Start to set aside, start to put things in place so that when that time comes, it's an easier transition to make because you would have planned for this, whether it is 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or an unfortunate situation happens that forces you into retirement, you should be prepared at any time. So the best time to start is yesterday. And what is Shane? The next best time is today?
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. We learned a lot, gentlemen. I want to thank you both. But before you go, Howie, there's something called hashtag GBNYG, which means
going, but not yet gone.
Take it away.
And today we have two properties. Quickly, one in the retirement community or the retirement parish, as it is known as Manchester in Mandeville. We have a 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom house located on Waltham Drive in Mandeville, and the property is situated on approximately a third of an acre, well fruited, actually pear, tangerine, June plum, Millsberry, lychee, almond and breadfruit, you name it. And the main floor of this residence has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, including a lovely ensuite master bedroom. And there are two 1-bedroom self-contained flats so that you can continue with that income with the income that you're looking for in your retirement age. And for that property, we're asking you to contact Carol Madden. That's Carol Madden at 876-351-3113. That's 351-3113. Or you can send her an email at carol@hjrealtors.com. And secondly, if you're not ready to purchase, but you'd like to come back home and rent somewhere in the meantime, we have somewhere in a complex called Camelot Village in St. Anne, and that property is being rented for $175,000. It's a very nice property, fully furnished and ready for occupancy. And we're asking you to contact Sybil Harvey at 876-382-9930. That's 382-9930. Sybil Harvey.
All right. I like the offers this today, but in particular the one in Manchester, which you call the retirement parish, because that gives that person now the opportunity of being able to get an income from the smaller part of the property whilst they're actually enjoying the benefits of living in the main property, right?
Correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
And that's why we strategically place this for your offering of your listeners who we know are tuned in and keen on how to make that transition back home.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Shane, before you go, can you give us their contacts for persons who might want to reach out to you?
For sure. If you want to reach out to me, you can reach out via this number, 876-293-0797, or my email, Oshane_black@sagicor.com.
And that's 293-0797, you said, right?
Correct.
All right. Howie, for your contacts?
876-383-4656 is my number, or you can call the office anytime after 8:30, 876-620-1457. You can search for us on social media, Instagram and Facebook, using the handles at HJ Realtors or at HJ Manage, and we will be able to respond to all your queries. Our website, www.hjrealtors.com and hjmanage.co.
All right. Well, I have a scheduled meeting in your office this morning. I didn't plan to bring up anything to do with retirement, but that might just have to be added to the agenda.
We will be here welcoming you when you come, and look forward to seeing you.
All right. Catch you later on. Thank you very much, Howie. Thank you, Oshane. Gentlemen, have a great day.